Hi, and welcome to Design It with Tammy Gibbs. I'm Tammy, and today I'm working inside Artistly 5, and we are going to be working and looking into paper dolls. I know that's kind of an unusual thing, but I had so many people that commented and messaged me wanting me to do a video on paper dolls because they just have a certain sort of appeal, and paper dolls have changed over the years, and so we're going to explore a couple of different ways that you actually can market paper dolls in different ways using Artistly to create your images and what you need to do to get them ready to actually be a sellable product. So, I'll start this off by saying this is not an exact science, and it does take a little bit of work depending on how you want to present them. But let's just jump right in. So basically, if you're starting off with Artistly, you'll go to Create Design, your Fast AI Image Designer as well, where I have created mine because I used the AI Art Illustrator as far as the style goes. Now, can you use others? You absolutely can, but I'm just going to be working with what I was able to make work, and so that I can kind of help you um, get the best product, I guess you could say. I'm kind of at a little bit of a loss because I have not made any of these to sell yet, but I definitely was able to produce something that will be a sellable product. And in my own research, I just wanted to sort of talk to you about that as well. So one of the things that I wanted to do was to go in and start off in the beginning on Etsy, just sort of showing you what the different ways that people are actually selling the paper dolls, and so that you can get some ideas on how you could present them. So first off, um, I always like to preface this that when I show you things like this, please do not go and copy. Make your own things. Etsy's not going to like it anymore. They have their new creativity standards that are out there. And so they're flagging a lot of things, removing a lot of listings. So you really do just have to take the concept and then make it yours so that you don't get flagged. Okay, so let's look at what's best sellers in the paper dolls right now. So this is actually a kit that they have put together. So they call it a ephemera mixed media scrapbooking supply kit. So this is a way you could use them. You could sell the paper dolls to these are really wild and crazy. I really like whoever this seller is. They've been very creative. So they've mixed a lot of things. You could mix some of your backgrounds. You could mix various different elements together and do sort of a scrapbooking kit that would also incorporate having your cool little dolls. And I can think of probably about 100 different themes that you could do there, and you could really let your creativity wild on those. Okay, so these are also being sold as collage type cutouts, printable paper dolls for collage. Tags, mixed media, and stuff like that. So they're using them in a lot of different ways, but mainly their focus is for collage. So again, more in that junk journal kind of field with their whimsical stuff. Okay, so then you go into the more traditional with a flair. So these paper dolls come with backgrounds, and they do have some little outfits with these. The outfits are basically lined up with the figures. Let me see if you get some backgrounds. You also get some other elements that they can use to play with. this shows it put in like a little book that you could then, cut them out and I guess stick them on or whatever. You may be able to do them on magnet sheets, or recommend that your buyer use the little magnet sheets to create their little worlds, which is kind of cool, and taking paper dolls just a little bit farther. Um, I'm actually looking to see. Okay, I guess these are the figures here. It says you get 5 dolls and pets and a whole bunch of other little things. So lots of potential there for making little play sets. And then I like this, and I'm going to be working with this a little bit. These are also for junk journals, collage sheets. You really could, little girls could play with these. You could do them the same way. These are not designed to have interchangeable, like one doll and changing the outfits. Instead, it gives you lots of different dolls that are already dressed in different ways. So we're going to be approaching it two different ways in the video, showing you two different ways you can do this. But this is also really cool with the little vintage paper dolls. Okay, so then you have, again, you have the sheets that are like your more traditional, where you get the doll and you get lots of different outfits and things that you can. Some of these are going to be, they're going to really take a lot of work to be able to make them work, as far as actually workable dolls with outfits that actually fit. And as you see, the ones with these arms and stuff, they took a lot of work, and potentially they may not have used. This almost looks like real vintage paper dolls that maybe someone repurposed, or, that were in public domain or something. If not, they did a lot of work to get them in an arrangement where the actual outfits will fit on them. So that's gonna be you working with it. But I am gonna show you how I was able to get some of the paper dolls done. Here again, one of the little sets that they've got fixed up, where the little outfits and then the little backgrounds. And let's see. There's even the coloring ones, like coloring pages that are the dolls, the paper dolls. There's just people really have been very creative, which I love. And then you have bundles like this, where it's more the fussy cut dolls in different ways that you can do them, which is also very cool. And again, a lot of this is geared more towards the junk journal space. So that's just a different way and way to look at your how you want to sell your paper dolls. Many different ways to do them, through collages, through just the vintage look, the retro women, all those sorts of things. Okay, so now that we know several different ways that we could market them, let me close out of some of these Etsy pages so I don't get confused. And then let's go into Artistly. And let me just show you some of the images that I was able to create. So it's very easy in Artistly to create some of these. It's less easy to match them up depending on what you're going to do with them. So I have a couple of ideas. So for instance, you could do a pack that is more like this. this is basically the same girl in different outfits. So you could provide a pack of little girls that are basically um, already dressed and they're the same face, but they're dressed in different outfits. And that way, the little girl's not having to change outfits. She could just get her other doll that matches the outfit. Then you could supply them also with the different backgrounds and also different accessories like little dogs or, a swimming pool or a slide, and then they could print the little dolls out and then they could play like that. So a little play set. So this is definitely a way that you could deliver them. This is probably one of the ways I will market is to do the multiple dolls in the same thing. And I'm going to show you a trick on how you can do that even when it looks like it's not possible. I also have a different idea, and it's something that I probably may end up trying or using, and that would be the face swap that you could try. For instance, if you wanted to do custom, you could always offer the service for to do personalized um, paper dolls with the little girls face, actually replaced in there using Artistly. Now, I'm probably not going to demo that. I'll probably do a whole different video on that after I've had a chance to test it. And I personally probably will not do anything custom. I want everything to be fairly passive, and I don't want to have to go in and fulfill those individual orders. But that would definitely be a niche market for you if you wanted to do that. It would also be something super cool that you could do. Like for birthday parties, or I mean, there's just a lot of things you could use these little dolls for, and market them that would be super creative. So, put your think outside the box hat on and just go wild with that. So, let's jump into the basics of paper dolls and the traditional way that they were used. Now, um, most of my little dresses did come with the little um, fold downs, which is fine. I kind of did away with them when I went to I noticed a lot of the actual listings had those still on there. So that would be up to you. You could do both. I'm working inside Canva with these, but let me just show you. I ended up with this girl. I trimmed up her hair a little bit. But then I also had these outfits that I pulled from one of the other images, this one here, and then there's another one somewhere. Okay, so I ended up being able to cut them out. Basically, I did it like this, and then I removed the background, and then I was able to take the dress. And just when they print them out, just know that you're going to have to adjust them to the actual doll. Okay, so here we go. And then you can see that you can adjust the actual dress so that it fits the doll. And that's what I had done with all of these dresses, so that you can then take and know that you can place them however you want to on the doll, and they fit. So it's just like trying on clothes. You want to try on all the little outfits to make sure they look good, and that the little girl that would be playing with it, or the mom or whoever would be playing with it, that the dresses would fit. So that is the traditional way. You print out the doll. And what I did here, this is not underwear. I asked for a retro one-piece swimsuit, and I found that actually worked well. And then let's go in here and let me go back to her. Okay, this was my original. Okay, so in here with her, one of the things, these are just some ways that you can um, word it. Uh, the doll should be standing and arms slightly away from side to accommodate the overlay of the clothes. So that's kind of what I did. Okay, so let's now look at some different things. Like I also was able to use this one. I used this one inside the artistic designer. The other one, this one, was done using the oil painting um, one. It just worked when I was trying them on. I don't know why. But this one I did in the artistic designer, and the dresses actually fit this. I mean, the thing about it is you can do outfits and find that they actually will fit on some other dolls. Let me go over to her, and you can see that I was able to even do this little t-shirt. This worked on her as well, just with a little bit of work. So you can definitely make sure that once you do get one that kind of fits a doll, to go back and see if you can size it for other dolls as well, as far as the clothing goes. Okay. So, and this one was, like I said, just a different style look, and it was done using the artistic designer. Now, I love these. So, or I love these little girls. So, with the little ballerinas. So, could you use these? You absolutely could use these. Let's go back and look at the different ones here that had the ballerina dresses on. And this one here, like, see, this one is a beach little girl. Um, Another beach little girl. But these actually, the little girls look the same. So, this one she's wearing glasses, this one she's not. If we did another one with her, now one thing that a lot of, they're like fussy cuts and stuff, but now see, this time you've got a different little girl. But again, dressing in the outfit here, the swimsuit kind of, it avoids you being flagged for trying to get underwear per se. So, but it gives you that similar look where then you can. Um, so let's take this one. I'll download it and go into Canva. We'll upload it, and then I'll walk you through. Okay, so the first thing I would do is remove the background. And again, you may want to run these through an upscale first and remove the background as well. What I'm going to do here is go ahead and make a copy, a duplicate. Okay. And then I'll go in and take the magic eraser, and we're going to get our doll. We'll just remove these outfits so that we just have our doll. And erase that. Just an easy way to do it. Okay, so now we have our doll, and she is her background is removed. Okay, we're going to go back into this one. We're going to duplicate the page again so we aren't destroying the whole thing. We're going to go back into edit and the magic eraser. And then what we're going to do is we're going to remove this one and this one. That one. And the little girl, part of the little girl. Okay. And you'll see what I'm going to do. I don't waste time if I can just kind of do it down like this. Okay. So we're going to take this and drag it here. And that's how you go about getting your little outfits and sizing them. Okay. All right. So let's go back into Artistly. And let's just do this. Let's say we want, I think I've decided I will try the face swap thingy. So let's just say that we want I tell you what, let's go into my folder. There we go. Okay, so let's just say we want to change and put let's say this one. We want to take this one. I'm going to download it to make it a little easier. And let's just try and see if we can do the whole face swap thing. Okay, so this is the face swap. And now we want to put it on maybe this one. Okay. Aha. So let's see if that worked. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this one. And we used Let's see. I'm not really sure. I think it changed it a little bit, but this face was a lot wider. So that's definitely a feature we need to play with. Okay. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to go in and let me find which one I want to work with. Let me just work with the one that I had already done, this one. Let's regenerate it. But this time we're going to go into the AI Artist Playbook. And I have a feature inside. This is volume 2, the Clipart one. And there is a feature all about basically fashion clip art. So let's see if we can turn this paper doll into a different, like, have different clothes using the playbook. So let's go to the historical and we'll go into the Victorian elegance. And we're going to play with it. And I have not actually done this, so I'm not sure how it's going to work with this particular prompt. Additional outfits that can be layered on top. And then this is going to be where we're going to attempt to put this. Okay. Because for those of you that have the playbook, then this may be the perfect way for you to generate those images and get the looks and the fashion styles that you're wanting to. Okay, so that's actually really cute. Okay. The base figure. Okay, let's regenerate it and see if we can get some gowns now. Okay, so but you can see how the playbook would be super valuable for you to work with your paper dolls, especially if you're going to use them for the, yep, there we go. We have the gown and we have the two like under top garments. Call it a fashion plate. And we would play with that until we got, the women looking kind of the way that we wanted them to look. That one's not facing forward just the way that we would want her to. There we go. So now let's regenerate and go into our playbook and show what else we can do. So let's do this 1920s flapper and sort of swap her out. Okay. Okay. So you can definitely use the playbook to get the time period you're wanting to do your dolls in. So now you've got a flapper girl. We can take away this fashion plate bit. Let's try her again. Let's do 4 of them. So this is a really cool because you could do these, use these for the paper dolls, and then you could also use these for maybe a clip art type thing. Now let's take this, copy it, and then take it into some other designers to see what we get. Let's try the regular version 5 because that's what you're going to do. You're just trying on the designers now to see which one renders the look that you really want. There we go. So now we've got it where it's creating the ones that we want. Okay, so that's Flapper Girls. Let's go into Bohemian. Regenerate. We can leave the wearing period shoes so that we get that look. And then we have, now there's keys that you can do if you want it to be more modest or whatever, but here we do have that version. We could change the hair color. So let's just say we want a blonde. We can go in beautiful woman with blonde hair. And you could just create all of your different women. Could you do several at one time? You could, and then break them apart. But remember that when you do that, see, here's your bohemian. And again, you could, I don't have time to do it in the video, but if you wanted less cleavage, you could definitely do that. But so anyway, so you can go back in. Now, my playbook has a huge variety of different, like futuristic. That was historical. You can get, there was also bohemian that's totally different. Retro, vintage, pop, fashion, art, luxury. You've got casual and everyday. You've got fantasy. You've got workwear. You've got all sorts of different high fashion and editorial. You've got sci-fi. So there's lots of different ways that you can dress your paper dolls, and whether they be adult images or whether they are the little girls. Okay, so let's go back in here. Let's take this one. Pants. Okay. And let's go back into the version 4 designer. I'm not sure how it will do with this because version 4 can be a little bit temperamental. You have to go in and be very specific with what you're wanting. Let's go into the artistic designer. Okay, so artistic gave us too many in one thing. I'm not sure why it gave us that many and didn't do us a single image, but it did. So, anyway, lots of different ways that you could play with this. And so, you want to make sure that you could do it and say against a white background, surrounded by negative space, stuff like that to get where you get your full image in there. But anyway, so I think I've basically gone through what I wanted to with the video, just to give you some ideas on how you could do the paper dolls, how you could phrase things to get the arms and stuff down. It's going to be something depending on which product you decide to sell. It could take a lot of time. Just want to just be upfront, with you about it, and let you know that it's not something that's going to be a really quick product to do. That doesn't mean you don't want to do it. It just means it will take a little bit of time. You could also do bears, and have the little outfits to go on the bears. Bunnies, there's just endless possibilities with this niche, but you'll want to look for something special, like a special selling point that you can use the images and create that special pack that's going to get attention above all the rest of them. But I hope you've enjoyed this little sort of walk down memory lane and a look at a very fun historical toy and how it's now coming back in different ways. And of course, the playbook that I used is volume 2. It's available both on Etsy and Gumroad. And it does have all of the different fashion prompting, phrasing, and the word banks and all that kind of stuff, so that you can kind of use those to go in and change up your prompts, and of course a lot of other things, because that one's all on Clipart. But as you can see, this goes way beyond what you can use it for, just for Clipart. So anyway, be sure and check out the description for this video. It has all my links for my Facebook group, free to join. It also has a link to my weekly newsletter, a link to purchasing Artistly. If you have a code, you can use it with my affiliate link, and it works. And anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, happy creating.